It would be the biggest lie if someone would say that Michael Jordan wouldn't be successful in today's NBA. MJ is the best two-way player to have ever played the game. His 9 first-team all-defense selections all came at the same time, as he was leading the league in scoring. Only 2 other players have achieved that feat, Kobe and Jerry West. They did it 3 times between themselves. MJ did it 9 times. There is nobody close to MJ in terms of two-way prowess. He would be Steph Curry on the offensive end while also being Giannis on the defensive end. As a complete package, physically, mentally, skill on offense and defense, there is nobody today who is more capable than Jordan. Not even the self-proclaimed GOAT, LeBron James. Today's video will be proof Michael Jordan would destroy today's NBA. Let's start with his incredible athleticism, his physique. Would Jordan be able to hang with today's best players? The answer is unequivocally yes. Jordan remains one of the most impressive athletes the NBA has ever seen. We all know MJ could leap out of the gym, but his speed was ridiculous too. He could run like Deion Sanders. Imagine Klay Thompson's frame combined with Allen Iverson's agility and Russell Westbrook's speed. He might not have been as big or as strong as LeBron James, but Jordan made up for that with elite quickness. Oh, and those hops were pretty good too. While some players from Jordan's time would have trouble keeping up with the pace of today's NBA, MJ would be just fine. Now, let's not forget about his great shooting. ESPN's Mike Greenberg, who mentioned his coverage of Jordan for 4 straight years in Chicago, says Jordan would have dominated today's NBA.
I will say this, and I will challenge anyone to debate this with me anytime they want. If Michael Jordan played in today's NBA, he would average 40 points a game.
When modern scouts evaluate shooting potential in young players, many look more closely at free throw percentage than actual three-point percentage. Given the sample size, it's often more predictive, which is why many of the league's draft models still lean on the stat as a proxy for shooting skill. Jordan made 84% of his career NBA free throws, which is awesome. More importantly, Jordan was the best jump shooter of his era, while combining shot creation, volume, and efficiency better than any other player of his generation. Jordan's shooting prowess at the line and in the mid-range convinces me that MJ could have easily developed a reliable three-point shot if he were playing today. Even though he shot just 23.8% on 1.5 attempts per game in 1997-98, a hypothetical 27-year-old MJ playing in the NBA in the 2020s could be expected to hit threes as well as current players such as Paul George, 39.7% on 8.3 attempts per game this season, and Kawhi Leonard, 45% on 5.1 attempts. Those LA Clippers are great two-way wings cut from the Jordan cloth, and both entered the NBA with unreliable range. Yet both developed their long-range shooting before they even reached their primes. How? Hard work, talent, and the guidance of player development coaches obsessed with building long-range jump shots. Does anybody really think the most competitive superstar in the history of pro basketball wouldn't be able to develop a 35% to 40% three-point shot if he grew up in an environment consumed by perimeter offense? Come on, man. Let's also not forget that the modern NBA rules have made offense easier. How many points would Jordan average in today's NBA? With changes to the perimeter touch rules, hand checking was curtailed in 2004. Shot distribution and pace of play, it's fair to assume Jordan's blend of usage and efficiency would have generated more points now than it did then. While today's NBA has more players such as Leonard, George, and Thompson who would certainly match up better against MJ than his 90s contemporaries, the lack of hand-checking makes perimeter defense much more difficult. Today, Jordan could get clean shots at will and get to the line with Embiid-esque frequency. Plenty of people wonder how he would fare in this era. And for Stephen A. Smith, MJ would totally dominate in today's game.
Well, he would have destroyed all competition. I don't think there's any question about that, but he wouldn't have averaged 50 and shot 75% from the field. That's definitely hyperbolic on David Falk's part. One of, if not the elite agent of his time, and still is still big time as far as I'm concerned. He really knows what the hell he's doing. But let me be very, very clear. I think Michael Jordan would have averaged about 40.
He then explained how Jordan would have played like James Harden and had similar names to the beard. Explaining MJ with a better three-point shot would be awesome to watch.
Every time, Jay, that people talk about Jordan, They always talk about how many points he would have scored or how he would have destroyed the competition because of what he did offensively. I think that people don't realize the heart transplants he would have forced, or he would have just snatched dudes' hearts all around the league. He would have taken them out. They would have wanted no part of him because that was Jordan's specialty. He wasn't about just beating you, Molly, Max, Jay. He was about demoralizing you, taking your heart away from you, and making sure that you knew you couldn't mess with him at all, that you wanted no parts of him.
Now, let's talk about how today's NBA would be the perfect defense for MJ. Let me explain. Over the past few decades, offenses have opened up. Gone are the days of dumping it down to the big fella. Now it's more about pick and roll and drive and kick. So, could Jordan hang as a perimeter defender in the new NBA? Heck yes! In a league skewed increasingly toward backcourt play and perimeter production, Jordan's tenacity and impact on the defensive end would only be more valuable now than it was in his prime. Remember, Jordan led the NBA in steals 3 times. He won the Defensive Player of the Year award in 1988 and was first-team All-Defense 9 times. Sure, he'd have to be a little less handsy than he was in the 90s, but his lateral quickness and balance would enable him to dance with today's best ball handlers. Plus, his size and length would help him contest stepbacks and deflect passes like Paul George does. It's fun to think about how Jordan might fare guarding today's best guards and wings. Could Harden break him down at the top of the arc? Could Klay Thompson curl off a screen and bury a catch-and-shoot 3 in his face? Could LeBron power past him on a fast break? Could Kevin Durant just shoot over him? MJ could chase Curry around screens like he did against Reggie Miller. He could match Kawhi Leonard stride for stride, like he did against Clyde Drexler. He might run into trouble with KD, but who in the world hasn't? If there's a weakness, it's the size and strength. Jordan was plagued by foul trouble when he tried to guard the bigger, stronger Magic Johnson in the first 2 games of the 1991 Finals. That series might have gone differently if Jordan and the Bulls didn't have Scottie Pippen to save the day. But Jordan wasn't a great defender because he shut down every superstar. He was great because he could at least make life difficult for even the world's best guards and wings. There's no coach in the league right now who wouldn't love to have a 6-foot 6-inch wing with Jordan's on-court decision-making, speed, and attitude. Next, let's talk about his competitiveness. Bismack Biyombo talked about playing under Jordan last year. Biyombo said he still has a strong relationship with the icon, and that Jordan always used to sting his Hornets players in one-on-one games, no matter who got in line to try and check him. Mike is Mike, man. I've seen him play one-on-one with players after games, and one by one was taking them out. So this was probably, I think, 7-8 years ago. He would come into practice and just play one-on-one with players and just kill them. 100%. I didn't think he could move like that. I think somebody during COVID in 2020 actually challenged him because we had a phone call and he said, "Give me a couple of months. I just need to get in shape. I don't need to run and all that, but just a couple months and I'll be ready for one-on-one." I wouldn't suggest anybody to do that. Jordan didn't just dominate pro basketball in the 90s. He tore down the conventions that guided the league for decades, shifting the focus from bruising bigs to shot-creating wings. Don't ask if MJ could hang with the elite guards and wings of today. He was the progenitor of them. He reshaped basketball wisdom thanks to an unprecedented blend of physical gifts, competitive spirit, and artistry. It's a copycat league, but Michael Jordan didn't plagiarize. He wrote the book. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more amazing NBA content. Thanks for watching.